What the? It would help if I could click the right thing. I'm like, what the hell? I got an ad coming up or something here. What is this? Hello, everyone. Darkside Phil here, and welcome to the Weekend Preview. Today is Sunday, July 26, 2015, and let me tell you guys, 1 week ago today, when I filmed last week's Weekend Preview, no, I never expected that a week later I would be in the position that we are in right now. I mean, I was a little skeptical of things that would go down this week, but I certainly was not, like, you know, completely prepared for the silliness, the disappointment, and the overall just kind of chaos that has happened this past week in regards to the Street Fighter V beta, the epic fail that this thing has been, and the way that it's affected not only my content, but so many people's video content over the course of this week who do fighting game coverage. For those of you who don't know, the Street Fighter V beta was supposed to be released on Thursday night and run all the way throughout this weekend until Tuesday evening, and I was actually planning on covering this beta, playing it for 5 straight days starting on Thursday and ending on Monday. I was going to end a little early and not play it on Tuesday at all. I haven't even played a single match of this game yet. In fact, in the 2 attempts, that's right, it was over 4 hours of me trying to play this beta, I've played 3 minutes in training mode. That's the extent of how much of Street Fighter V I've played. There were people, and a lot of people will say I'm name dropping, big deal. Maximilian, who's very well known on YouTube for playing Street Fighter and other fighting games. He's the main kind of primary Street Fighter coverage guy, or fighting game coverage guy on YouTube right now. It's pretty much all he does. For 10 hours on Saturday, sat trying to play this beta and managed to get 20 matches in. So just think about that. Let's say an average Street Fighter match lasts 3 minutes. Times 20, so he had to spend 10 hours sitting and waiting to play 1 hour. That is pathetic. And it totally threw my schedule for a loop because I thought for sure I'd be enjoying this beta all weekend and that we'd all be interacting on the streams and I'd have full coverage of the characters and all of that. And I got zipped because basically the whole thing went to hell. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a moment because I think so many people are defending Capcom without any base, because it's just fanboyism, and I'm so tired of it. No, there's no one who can legitimately defend Capcom here, okay? And I'll explain why in a moment, but we'll get to that. The first thing I want to do is let you know what I did do for those who maybe were staying away because they thought, oh, it's all Street Fighter content coming out, and I'm not interested in Street Fighter. Let me tell you what I did do in case you missed out on a bunch of stuff that you weren't expecting. Let me tell you about Patreon because there's only 5 days left to pledge to my July Patreon, and it's directly going to affect 2 things coming up this week. Okay, and then I'll get into this week's schedule, which is, again, up completely in the air, depending on what happens with Capcom and this silly Street Fighter V beta that's been an epic fail, alright? So first of all, ladies and gentlemen, what did I do instead of playing Street Fighter V? Well, Thursday night, I sat on stream for over 3.5 hours trying to play this beta. Could not play it. It did not work at all. But I did a 3.5 hour long impromptu stream. We did Q&A sessions with the stream chat. I did singing of songs that people were throwing out. I did jokes. I entertained the stream for 3 hours. And the hilarious part about all of this is I had over 900 people on stream the entire time, which is crazy. When I'm doing nothing, I had 900 people on stream. They were all entertained, having a ball. And then when I uploaded it to YouTube, because I just did it as one video, one 3-hour video, and said if you feel like watching it, watch it, because I think it's pretty entertaining. People seem to like it. And there were actual assholes who criticized us. Phil's just doing this to make money. I wanted to play the beta, you fucking jackasses. Like, how stupid can you be? If you're going to criticize anything, at least Phil did something with the 3.5 hours. And some people, well, she just went and played Street Fighter 4. I just did my final Street Fighter 4 stream. I titled it Final Street Fighter 4 Stream last week. I'm not going to go back on my word and play more Street Fighter 4 now because Capcom fucked up the Street Fighter 5 beta. It's stupidity. So I did what I could with the dead time just in case it did work and come back. And it was pretty entertaining, and people seem to enjoy it. It's got over 32,000 views on DSP Gaming and growing. People are still checking it out, so check it out if you haven't, okay? Friday, I again tried to do the Street Fighter V beta, and it didn't work again. Now, luckily for me, I said I'm not going to waste all of my time with this. You know, I'm going to do other stuff. So what I did do is I continued to play Resident Evil Code Veronica XHD, and I beat it. So I concluded Code Veronica, which a lot of people were not expecting to see until later this week. So you can check out the conclusion of that playthrough. It's all live, and it's in the playlist if you want to check it out. In addition to that, on Saturday, because, again, it wasn't working properly, I actually did a next session of co-op with Leanna of The Godfather. This was a game that we started last week, and we thought we were not going to be playing it again until later this week, but because the beta wasn't working, we played it on Saturday. We loved it. The game's actually, in my opinion, actually getting better. There's more side missions and content opening up that I'm really enjoying, along with the story of the movie. So I love the game, and I think it's a great choice. I'm so happy that people suggested it and that people are coming out every week to check it out. That's going to be going on every Saturday for August, just so everyone knows. Every Saturday, Leanna and I will be doing that co-op gameplay, okay? So I did all that this weekend, and then, even more in addition to all of that, because, again, it wasn't working today, I played Metroid Prime. Yeah, a game that people have asked me to play for years. I started playing Metroid Prime today out of the Metroid Prime trilogy that was released for Wii U last year, and I had a ball with it. I think the game's great. I actually, even though it's dated, the game's 13 years old at this point, I really enjoy it. Yes, the visuals are outdated, but outside of the outdated visuals, the gameplay's spot on. I'm not using the Wiimote and Nunchuck, and it actually is pretty responsive. I had a little bit of difficulty with one or two things, but for the most part, I really like the game, and I'm going to be continuing that this week as I'm about to explain to all of you. So, all of that stuff I know. Metroid Prime, I hadn't even talked about starting. All that stuff happened this weekend. So if you've been staying away, now you come back to watch the weekend preview to see what I'm doing this week, you might say, holy shit, I had no clue that Phil was doing all this. I'll check out some of the stuff that I missed. So please do so, okay? So that's what you missed. In addition to that, a new DSP Tries It was released, which was a brand new one, something totally different I've never done. I did a breakfast cereal. So check that one out. And I went to our new local arcade. We actually have an arcade here in Seattle now that just opened up. And it's awesome. It's got these fun ticket and carnival-style redemption games. It's got video games that are like Bamani music games with guitars and drums. It's got Dance Dance. So it's not called Dance Dance, it's the Japanese one, so Pump It Up or whatever. They've got air hockey. They've got shooting games, 100 different kinds of shooting games, racing games, and fighting games. This Saturday we went and we just basically checked out kind of the carnival and redemption games, but we are going to go back in the future to check out all the other stuff, and we did a bunch of vlogs. I haven't uploaded those yet. I'm saving those. I'm going to upload those over the course of this week, so if you want some fun variety of vlog coverage, check out that vlog coverage on the King of Hate vlogs this week, okay? So, lots of fun stuff that happened in the past several days that we were not planning on doing, okay? So now, let's talk about Patreon, and then we'll get to this week's schedule. Patreon, 5 days left to pledge for the month of July, okay? First of all, what's happening in the next week regarding Patreon? Well, number one, I'm going to be doing a marathon. 1 day this week. Originally, it was going to be July 29th, but being that the Street Fighter V beta is all screwed up, okay, it is going to happen. I just don't know what day this week. Right now, I'm going to tentatively still leave it for Wednesday the 29th, and we'll see what happens, okay? It looks like right now it's going to be Crash Bandicoot 2, and if I do complete Crash Bandicoot in shorter than 7 hours, then I'll be playing Crash Bandicoot 3, okay? And, you know, I'm just going off of votes. There could be a huge surge of votes out of nowhere from patrons, but right now it looks like the majority of votes are for Crash Bandicoot 2, okay? So that's going to be 1 day this week. Later this week, as early as, say, Friday and or Sunday, we're going to tally up the votes for the Patron's Choice playthrough, and right now it looks very much like it's going to be Fallout New Vegas. Now, a couple things, because I'm going to say this all up front so there's no misconceptions, because there's always going to be people who complain about everything, you know, because that's how they are, that's their personality, it's got to whine. But I'm going to tell you up front how this is going to go down. Number one, it's on Xbox 360, period. A lot of people, oh, you're going to play it on PC? No, I've already explained a million times, I don't do major PC playthroughs because I don't have a PC that can run these high-resolution 1080p 60 frames per second games and also capture and stream them at the same time. It could do one or the other. And so many people are of this mindset, but I don't understand. I thought you bought a $3,000 computer. Can't do it? No, because no computer can. Even if any of the insane top-of-the-line computer still cannot capture, stream, and play a game in 1080p 60 frames per second. It doesn't fucking exist. People are like I don't know, they think of these Phantom Zone computers that like, wow, a fucking supercomputer named Brainiac will come down and do this for me. No, it doesn't exist. It doesn't matter what computer I had, how much money I spent. No computer will do that, okay? People who do that have 2 computers. One plays the game, and one streams and captures. I don't have a second computer that can do it. I haven't raised enough funds this year with Patreon or anything. I haven't even raised enough funds to get my new camera, which I want to work on Project 7 and stuff with. So no, it's not going to happen. My major playthroughs will be going on consoles, period. All right? And I'm sure there'll be 100 people complaining about it. Too bad. Because that's the reality of the situation, all right? In addition, I own all the DLCs for Fallout New Vegas already on the Xbox 360. So it would be pretty foolish for me to get it on PC and have to rebuy the game, rebuy all the DLCs when I have them all already on Xbox 360. That's why I'm doing that version of the game. Now, there's been some discussion that since I've already done a Fallout New Vegas playthrough, that I should do a hardcore mode playthrough. I'm on the fence about this. I like the idea of an added challenge, the fact that you need to have food and drink all the time, that ammo actually has weight to it, that because you have food and drink, if you're like, you don't have hunger or thirst, you know, that's satisfied, you can't fast travel and stuff like that. But here's the thing, and this is what I want to make very abundantly clear to everyone. This is a Patron's Choice playthrough that's going to take place during the month of August, and if I don't finish the game, which I'll be honest, it's Fallout New Vegas, it's a long-ass freaking game, it'll continue into September. Right now, September has major games such as Mad Max, Metal Gear Solid 5, Mario Maker, and maybe 1 or 2 others during the month of September. So really, it's heavy for the first half, and it's probably going to lighten up for the second half of September, which means if I did need the time, I could probably take it to get through Fallout New Vegas. But I'm going to be honest with everyone. This playthrough will not continue past September. So if I don't beat Fallout New Vegas and or whatever DLCs I choose to play in this playthrough by the end of September, that's the end of the playthrough. Or at least indefinitely until the hardcore gaming season's over, because in October, you've got new releases every week, multiple releases. November, multiple releases. And of course, by the time Fallout 4 comes out, no one's going to care about my playthrough of Fallout New Vegas. The point of this playthrough is to do something ahead of time to refresh us, to get us into a Fallout mood. It's a game that I only played once ever, and I'll be honest, I don't really remember too much about Fallout New Vegas. I just remember the Vegas portions, but I don't really remember the side content or much of anything around it, and actually, I barely remember the DLCs. I actually remember like 2 of the DLCs I did at midnight when they released, and I was drunk when I played them, and I don't even really remember them. So what I'm thinking is I can go through Fallout New Vegas throughout August, do some of the DLCs in a more professional manner than the first time that I did them, maybe have it finish up in September. Making a hardcore level or hardcore mode playthrough may make it more difficult to the point where I cannot complete the playthrough by the end of September, which means it won't complete in time for the hardcore gaming season. So really, that's the chance I'm taking. I would love to get everyone's take. Would you rather see me do a regular Fallout New Vegas playthrough with the DLCs and stuff, similar to how I did with Fallout 3, and make it kind of a major focus in August and September for the Patron's Choice playthrough? Or would you like to see me maybe don't do the DLCs at all, only focus on the main story, but do a hardcore mode playthrough that's, you know, is primary in August or September, and don't worry about the other supplementary content so that I could kind of get through the game and finish it up before the hardcore gaming season, but at least it's something different because of the hardcore mode difficulty. That's what I need your feedback on right now, and I need it by the end of this week, because by the end of this week, like I said, as early as Friday the 31st of July, maybe even August 2nd, that Sunday, I may start playing Fallout New Vegas. So, please give me your feedback in the comments of this video, on Twitter, on my website, wherever you want to spam your opinion, let me know. But understand this, I'll say it one more time so it'll sink in. It is not up for debate. Fallout New Vegas is being played on the Xbox 360, is not going to be on PC. That is final. But the choice that is it going to be hardcore mode and just the main campaign, or is it going to be a full playthrough of the game with the DLCs, as many as I can finish up? That's what I need your help with, okay? So, all that's happening this week with patron voting, and it looks right now like Crash 2 and Fallout New Vegas will be the winners, okay? By the end of this week, by Friday, my Patreon account or my Patreon pledges for July will be over. If you pledge in the next 5 days, $5 or more, you're going to be able to choose the next Best and Worst of DSP Classic series. You'll be voting throughout the month of August. First, you'll be nominating, and then you'll be voting by the end of the month. This is huge. People don't realize how much power they have by being a patron. So people are like, oh, Fallout New Vegas, I didn't want to see that. But did you realize that you had the ability to vote and that it's only a few votes that are making Fallout New Vegas win? Like, people don't seem to realize the power of the patron. And they take it for granted, and then they get entire playthroughs that they're not interested in. Well, that's why you gotta be a patron, you know what I mean? Like, that's the power of the $5 pledge. It's huge, ginormous, way more than people who pledge to other patrons. Oh, maybe he'll do a Q&A session. I do Q&A sessions already. Most of the stuff other patrons do, and they make a full living doing off of their Patreon account, I do for free. This is some crazy amount of power I'm giving to the viewers, okay? So, within the next 5 days, if you pledge to my Patreon at patreon.com/darksidephil, you'll be able to vote on the best and worst of DSP Classics, nominate and vote, and pick what the next series will be that will start in September. In addition, you will allow me to continue to do this Patron's Choice playthrough throughout the month of August and September, and my hope is if I hit my top goal for the month in the next 5 days, I will be able to take, say, 3 to 4 days in the month of August and take them completely off from streaming and gameplay, and instead of doing streaming and gameplay, I'll be working on Project 7, writing, filming, capturing, all the stuff that I need to do, and hopefully by the end of the month I can at least have a few teasers, a trailer, or maybe even a full episode ready to go, so that, say, by the time that I get so slammed with stuff in October with new releases, I'll have had 1 to 2 episodes released, and we could go on kind of hiatus. Maybe around the holidays I could do a holiday special of Project 7, and maybe next year, as we start off the new year, I could get back to the swing of it, but you know once October comes, that's it. I'm going to have no time to work on Project 7. That's just how it happens. So, that's my goal for the month. So I really need everyone who has not pledged yet, or has not, you're thinking about pledging, but you haven't yet. Only 5 days left. Please pledge if you can. But understand, if you can't, it's cool. I'm very pleased with the amount of people that have been coming out, checking out my streams, checking out my content. Even this time, right now, it's very dead. Let's face it. Everyone was all hyped for the Street Fighter V beta. The thing failed miserably. Not a lot of people are very excited now because they're so pissed off. They've been trying to play it for days. But for those that are coming out and still checking out my content, I appreciate it, all right? So now, let's talk about the Street Fighter V beta. Let's talk about the schedule for the week that is kind of weird and up in the air because of how screwed up everything's been, okay? The bottom line is this. I can't promise anyone anything this week. I don't know when I'm doing what because the Street Fighter V beta has been up, down, and barely working. And I want to play it, but I can't if it doesn't work, all right? So, first of all, let's talk about something very quickly. The fanboys who are defending Capcom and the Street Fighter V beta saying, but it's a beta, this is the point, if it doesn't work, that's good, right? Because they'll find the problems and they'll fix it, so when you finally buy the game, the problems won't be there. Wrong. That's not the point of this beta. This beta was advertised as if you pre-order the game now, you will play in a beta for 5 days to test the netcode of the game. You were guaranteed to be able to play online gameplay of the game. You weren't guaranteed the quality of the match because it was going to be random matchmaking where you were going to be matchmaking against people all across the globe. So you may have played someone on the other side of the earth and the connection was terrible. You might have played with someone next door and the connection was great, but at least you would have gotten to play and gotten a taste for the game. That was the point of the beta, to test the netcode, not a server failure test. Capcom already had apparently tested and thought their servers for this beta were going to work, or else why would you tell thousands of people worldwide to help us test the game this weekend? Like, anyone who's defending this, do you not have fucking self-consciousness in your head? How do you not understand this basic line of reasoning? If you were told to know tomorrow, at noon tomorrow, to be at a restaurant in your neighborhood because they were going to do a huge public taste test of food, and you went to the restaurant and you lined up for 4 hours in line for food, and by the time that you finally got to the line, they said, there's no food here today. Sorry, go home. Would you just forgive them and say, well, it was supposed to be a taste test, but the food didn't exist yet, so they just failed at making it, so that's fine, it's just a test, right? No, you went to the restaurant, you were promised something that didn't get delivered, and you wasted your time. And that's exactly the same situation as this beta. So many people reserved time this weekend because they wanted to test the beta, play the game, give Capcom their feedback on their experiences, and we were treated basically incredibly poorly because Capcom wasn't ready. It's a pain in the ass, and a waste of time, and quite honestly, incredibly disrespectful and a horrible first impression, because the bottom line is this: you only get one chance at a first impression. And yes, of course, this was a beta, right? And we knew that even if we got to play, the connections would be bad. But at least we were promised we were going to be able to play. And the fact that we haven't been able to means that Capcom now has a bad first impression with the public for Street Fighter V. Do you remember when the Xbox One came out? And the bad first impression, it left in people's minds because they said, oh, there's going to be all of this no used games, online only, and all that shit. Do you realize that in 2015, there are still people who think that about Xbox One? Because that was the first impression. Even though it went back and flip-flopped and changed all that, most people don't even know that. Because what you hear, the first negativity, that's all the people hear. That's ingrained in the back of their head. That's all they believe. So anyone now who's interested in Street Fighter V who isn't like a super hardcore Capcom nut-sucking fanboy, and maybe pre-ordered the game to play the beta, didn't get to, they heard the beta's a failure, well, the game's a failure, and they won't give a fuck about the game. And that's the problem that Capcom's going to have to face now. And you cannot defend Capcom. It's not a beta test of their servers, it's a beta test of the netcode. That's what we were told. If we were told up front, you could sit for 4 hours and never play a match, okay, we weren't told that. We were told you will get in, you'll get to training mode, you'll wait, you'll get matches, you'll play matches. We can't guarantee the quality of the matches, but we need you to play them so we can see and experiment and look at the data. They've seen almost no data because very few people have played anything because the game's a broken piece of shit and the servers don't work. It's a mess. It's probably one of the biggest beta failures ever. But of course, people won't say that because people always want to be these fucking defensive, nut-sucking fanboys. Oh, I love Capcom, I love Street Fighter. Everyone's just being so overly negative. No, people don't like to waste their entire weekends. That's what people are angry about. Not that they didn't get to play the game, that we were told we would, and we wasted our weekends. At least in my case, it's not that big of a deal because guess what? I have all this other stuff that I've been doing. So this week, tomorrow, Monday, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run through the schedule this week as if the Street Fighter V beta doesn't exist, and then I'm going to tell you what happens if it does exist. If the Street Fighter V beta does not exist, Monday, my first stream will be more Metroid Prime. Monday night, my second stream will be the conclusion of Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition. Tuesday, my first stream will be more Metroid Prime. Second stream will be Life is Strange Episode 4, which, yes, is confirmed to be released this Tuesday. Wednesday will be the marathon of Crash 2 and Crash 3. Only promising Crash 2 right now because we don't know how long it's going to take me to beat it, but it's going to be around a 6.5 to 7 hour long marathon of gameplay on Wednesday the 29th. Again, preemptively, if the Street Fighter V beta doesn't exist, which we'll talk about in a minute. Thursday, Ask the King. Yes, it's happening this Thursday. My Q&A show. We're going to have patron questions answered. So if you are a $20 patron pledge for the month of June, please post up your questions. I went and checked. Not a lot of people posted up their questions, okay? In addition, if you have not posted up your questions at all and you weren't a patron, please post up your questions. There is a thread on thekingofhate.com for Ask the King this Thursday. I need more questions. There's like 40 questions there. Typically, I like to get 80 to 100, and I haven't been talking about it, so there's like no questions in there. I need questions. I'm even going to put a link to the thread in the description of this video so you can post up your questions. Please post up your questions. The more questions, the better the show is. That's going to be the first stream on Thursday. Second stream on Thursday will probably be more Metroid Prime. Friday, again, probably more Metroid Prime, balanced with We'll See. And again, we'll see because we don't know what's going to go on. Saturday will be more Godfather, and Sunday's up in the air. Could be Metroid Prime, or it could end up being a new game, whatever the patrons choose, which it looks like it's going to be Fallout New Vegas, depending on your feedback on this video. Should it be hardcore mode or not? Okay? That's the rough schedule for the week. Now, if the Street Fighter V beta starts working, if we get word tomorrow we're trying it again, I'm probably going to try it. I'm going to give it a shot. All right, it's been a few days now since Friday since I tried it. Reportedly, some people finally got to play a little bit yesterday, so here's hoping that they took a whole day off today to supposedly fix their servers, that by Monday it'll be even better. So if it does go live tomorrow, I will try to, at least for one stream, play it. If not both, it depends on what happens. And we'll play it by ear during the week. I will tell you this, yes, Life is Strange Episode 4 will happen sometime this week. Yes, there will be the marathon of Crash 2 and possibly Crash 3 this week. Yes, Ask the King will happen this week. But I can't promise you days and lock them in concretely until we know what happens with this beta. All right? So that's where I'm going to leave it. It's an uncertain week. There's tons of fun content between Metroid Prime, Life is Strange, the conclusion of Devil May Cry, Ask the King, The Godfather, maybe Fallout New Vegas. Just if we get to do all that, I think that's a great week. But you may actually see the Street Fighter V stuff in there as well, depending on what happens. We don't know. Playing it by ear. 'tis life, right? That's kind of what you have to do. And I know this is a one-time event. Once this beta's gone, they're saying there'll be more betas, but who knows when they'll be. Watch them. I guarantee you, they'll launch another beta in October during a week that has 4 fucking releases. Like, so I'm supposed to drop everything to play your beta now, you know? And I get the feeling that's what it's going to be. This beta was the perfect timing because it was in the midsummer. Everyone had the free time. If they start doing this in October and November, no one's going to be playing this beta besides the hardcore FGC guys. So, it is what it is. We'll have to see what happens, okay? That's the weekend preview. I apologize for not having too much concrete for you. I hope that I can have a fun gameplay week for you. I hope to get at least some Street Fighter V coverage in. We'll see what happens. Thanks for being patient. Thanks to those of you who've stuck in there, regardless of the fact this has been a very unclear week. You know, nothing really set in stone. Thank you to those of you who are still watching everything that I'm doing. I appreciate that. You were the people who are allowing me to do this in the full time. There are people who are fair weather viewers. They'll only come back for the big events. So, oh, he played Batman, I'll watch that. Oh, I'm gone until September when he plays Metal Gear. Now I'm gone again until November when he plays Fallout. That's cool, but those people aren't the people keeping me afloat. It's you, the common viewer who's watching all of the stuff in between that's letting me do this in the full time, and I appreciate that greatly. Thank you. Please remember, only 5 days left to contribute to Patreon. Thank you, everyone. I leave you once again for the final time with the very special thank you roll to those who did pledge to my Patreon in the month of June. And I apologize, there's no music, thanks to YouTube flagging my videos for music on this channel. I don't want to chance it, so it's silent. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you for either Metroid Prime and Devil May Cry or Street Fighter V tomorrow. Have a good night, and I'll see you for a fun-packed week. No matter what ends up happening, it's going to be a good one. Stay tuned to my Twitter, @TheyCallMeDSP, for daily updates on what to expect on the next day. Peace out, everyone. See you later.